On the menu today is one of my few French quarterly paying dividend stocks, TotalEnergies. The ticker symbol on the Euronext Paris stock exchange is TTE. It currently trades for about €60 per share. It pays a dividend of 74 cents per share 4 times a year. The next ex-dividend date is the 20th of March, and that will be paid out on the 3rd of April, with a current dividend yield of about 5%. I started my position on the 21st of June of 2021, and I'm about 23% up, so it's going pretty well overall. The stock is down about 0.5% in the last 5 days. It's down about 2% in the last month. It's up about 16% in the last 6 months. It's up about 4% in the last year. It's up 21.5% in the last 5 years. And since 1991, it's about 493% up. I've received 77 cents so far in dividends, but I have not received any returns of capital as of yet. The stock has a 52-week low of €50.55 and a 52-week high of €64.80. Now for a quick overview on TotalEnergies stock, and there's a potential 5 points that it can earn in this section. So first of all, the company was founded in 1924, which makes it about 100 years of age and earns it 1 point out of 1. And they operate in the energy sector. The company is divided into 4 segments, which are exploration and production, gas, renewables and power, refining and chemicals, and marketing and services. Headquartered in Paris, in France. They currently employ 101,000 people, which earns them 1 point out of 1. The stock has a current market cap of €145 billion, so it's a large cap stock, and that earns them 1 point out of 1. As far as a products and services moat goes, they do cover the entire chain of oil and gas, from production to distribution, and as of last year they are the 21st largest public company in the world. They're also one of the 7 supermajor oil companies, and I'd never heard that term before, but it's just another way of saying big oil, which I have heard before. This is used to describe the world's largest 6 or 7 publicly traded and investor-owned oil and gas companies. So although they are a massive company in their own industry, the industry that they're in is very prone to volatility. So if the price of oil or gas goes up or down, it really heavily affects these companies. So I can't give them the full 1 point out of 1 for a product and services moat, but I will give them 0.9. The Nasdaq website currently rates them as a buy. That's based on 13 analyst ratings, which are seen below. TipRanks currently rates them as a moderate buy, with 4 hold ratings and 2 buy ratings. The Wall Street Journal rates them slightly overweight, with 14 buy ratings, 3 overweight ratings, and 10 hold ratings. The Market Screener website also rates them a moderate buy. That's based on 22 analyst ratings, which are 10 buy ratings, 4 outperform ratings, and 8 hold ratings. And StockAnalysis.com rates them a buy. That's based on 2 buy ratings and 2 hold ratings. So overall, for their current analyst sentiment, I'll give them 0.7 out of 1 point. So we're off to a good start with the overview. 4.6 points out of a potential 5. And then for the valuation of TotalEnergies stock, there's another 5 points they can earn in this section. First of all, the company has a current revenue of €240.5 billion. And in the 3rd quarter of last year, they had a profit margin of 12%. That earns them 0.8 out of 1 point. They have a current earnings per share of €11.67 and a price to earnings ratio of 5.16. That's well below the average price to earnings ratio of the French energy sector. Their forward price to earnings ratio is 6.84 and their trailing 12-month price to earnings ratio is 8.46. So for having a price to earnings ratio below average, which would indicate that they're at a good price at the moment, they earn 1 point out of 1. Their current level of debt is also good. As of Q3 of last year, they had €290 billion in assets and €174 billion in liabilities, for a debt to assets ratio of 60%. This earns them 0.65 out of 1. And their cash flow situation. So it looks like the majority of the stuff for 2023 hasn't been released, but from what I can see it looks to be pretty good. So in 2022 they had €47 billion in operating cash flow. They had negative 15 billion from investing, negative 19 billion from financing. Their net change in cash for the year was €11.68 billion in the green. They also paid out about €10 billion in dividends. So for their cash flow situation, I'll give them 0.8 out of 1. Unfortunately though, less than 1% of the company is owned by insiders. That earns them 0.1 out of 1 point. So pretty good overall for the valuation. They earn 3.35 points out of 5. And for the dividend section, there's a potential 6.5 points they can earn. TotalEnergies stock pays the dividend 4 times per year, which is quite rare for a European dividend stock. They've also paid one special dividend in 2022, so for paying 4 times a year they earn 0.8 points out of 1, and for paying a bonus dividend they earn an extra 0.1 points. The current dividend yield is 5.3%, that earns them 1 point out of 1. They also have a nice and low dividend payout ratio of 26.8%, which earns them another 1 point out of 1. They've been paying the dividend for the last 24 years in a row. That earns them 0.6 out of 1.5 potential points. And although there was a slight drop in the dividend between 2020 and 2021, only by 4 cents, there was a significant drop between 2018 and 2019. This one here, 2022, that's much larger because of the special dividend. But even if I give them the benefit of the doubt, that's only 4 years of consecutive dividend raises, which earns them 0.1 points out of 1. Unfortunately, their dividend growth rate is not very impressive. They have a 3-year dividend growth rate of 1%, a 5-year dividend growth rate of 1.7%, their 10-year dividend growth rate is 1.6%, and their 20-year dividend growth rate is 12%. They have a forward dividend yield of about 4.9%, so for the dividend growth, they earn 0.2 out of 1 point. So overall for the dividend section, they earn 3.8 points out of 6.5, which is still not bad. And overall, from start to finish, they got 11.75 out of 16.5. And as a percentage, that would be 71%. It's up there with the highest I've looked at so far. The only thing that really lets them down is the dividend and their insider ownership. So certainly not bad. And if the dividend doesn't really mean much to you, even better. But anyway, that's it for this one, and I hope you found this useful.